Should you go to film school or should you not go to film school? That's the question. Let's get right into it. What's up, everybody? Welcome to My Zuniga Films, the channel where we talk about how to start and grow a successful video production business. The topic for today is whether you should go to film school or whether you should not go to film school. If you're on the fence, hopefully this video will help. With that being said, first off, I did not go to film school. However, I do know classmates of mine from high school that went on to film school and have successful careers in the industry. I've interviewed other directors, owners of video production businesses, and past TV executives to get their take on the pros and cons of film school. So I got my trusty iPad with me. Let's get right into it. So first off, you want to look at what your end goal is. Do you want to go in movies, television, big commercial shoots for corporations? Then maybe film school might be your best bet. So under film school, I'm going to put industry. All right. Now let's talk about the pros and cons. What are the pros? One of the big pros that I got from majority of the interviews is the network within the film school. You're around other students who want to be in the same industry as you. They either want to be directors or TV executives, maybe head editors in their field. So another good thing is that your professors either have industry experience or they have connections within the industry. So after you graduate, then you have an in. With that being said, what are the cons? Here's an interview of me speaking with Daniel Russel, who's a director for a lot of the major music videos in the music video industry. And he shares his take on the power of the network within film school.
And you know, film school really yeah, you get access to equipment, but if you get a Ronin and your iPhone, you can shoot anything you want. Yeah. The only thing I'd say that it is supposed to provide, again, is a network, but none of my classmates came to LA. They're all in New York.
Really?
And a lot of them went into music and others other things. So, you know, I think for me, just moving to LA, I networked so much farther just actually being here than meeting, your friends in film school that are shooting stuff for you. Who knows?
Yeah. All right, so what are the cons? One of the major cons is, well, cost. On average, it costs about $30,000 to get into the elite film schools in the country. So obviously that's the cost. However, what would be one reason why it's okay to go into film school? And let's say you have the funds set aside to pay off this, then okay, that can be a good option. However, if you're going to be put into deep debt paying this off, then that might not be in your best favor. So that's one thing to consider. What's another con? Basics. In my interview with Jakob Owens, who is a director for a lot of major music videos and commercials, as well as founder of Buff Nerds, he talked about how film school pretty much taught the basics, a lot of things that you can learn on YouTube. So here's his take. While we're still on the topic of film school, now that you're out of it, you've experienced it, was it worth it? What are the pros and cons?
It just honestly depends on the film school you go to. The film school I went to, not worth it. If you're going to go to a school that's more highly touted to where you can make those connections, because honestly, I think film school, where the value in film school is the connections you make. Whereas my film school in Arizona, where there's not really a film scene, and it was a very entry-level film school that was only 3 years old, and the best camera they had at the time was a 5D Mark II. They didn't let you, that was the best camera they had. That was their cinema camera. And so it's just, that wasn't worth it. But I'm not saying film school isn't worth it. I think it's got to be the right one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense. Another con is film school teaches you a lot of the above the line jobs. What does that mean? Above the line, or ATL. What are above the line jobs? Well, here's a clip of my interview with Shannon, who is a scriptwriter and was also a previous TV executive, and she shares her take on this topic.
Film school isn't necessary But if you are a person who likes to learn in a classroom, then it works for you. Now, what I will say about Florida State in particular, obviously I went there, so I have, more insight about that program than others, is that it teaches you every single below the line position and not just the above the line position. And for those people who don't know what that means, when we do the call sheets, there's a little like line, and there are above the line people who are like your director, writer, producer, editor kind of people. And then the below the line people are all of those other credits that you see when you go to a movie and you stay at the end, you're like, what's a best boy? What's a gaffer? What's a this? What's a that? Right? Those are all the below the line credits, which means when you graduate from school, but you aren't coming out to LA thinking that you're going to get an above the line position right off the bat. Right? Mm-hmm. Then you don't necessarily have to decide, I'm going to go be a waitress or I'm going to go, work at a hotel registration desk. You can go get jobs on the film sets because you know how to do all of the other positions. And a lot of film schools don't focus on that. A lot of film schools only do the above the line stuff. They're teaching people to be writers and directors. Some film schools don't even teach editing or producing, but it's like, there's such a small percentage of people who actually get to become writers or directors, let alone writer directors. Right. Mm-hmm. So what I enjoyed about Florida State, to my dismay, because at that point, all I wanted to do was write, right? So I'm in graduate school. I came here because I wanted to focus on what I want to do, right?
So as you can see, a lot of the above the line jobs is executive roles, director. A lot of the below the line jobs, well, that's where you usually get started. Mostly, it would be production assistant. So a lot of times, if you're trying to get into the industry, you're not really given a clear path on how to get in there. You have to really put yourself out there and make those connections and start at the bottom and work your way up. So if you're deciding not to go to film school, I would categorize the end goal as video creator. Whether you're going to be a freelancer, editor, director, start your own video production business, or be a video creator on YouTube, then this might be your best option. So, what are the pros? Well, one of the biggest pros is that it saves time and money. That $30,000 that you would have spent on those 4 years in film school, you would have been able to save and invest in yourself, whether you want to start your own video production business or not. First things first, you save time. Time is the most important asset. The time it would have taken you to go into those 4 years of film school, now you're able to place that time into yourself, growing your business, growing yourself personally, and investing in your own growth. Also, money, that $30,000 that you would have spent in film school, now you're able to place that into specific, let's say, courses that you want to learn that you're not able to learn on YouTube. For example, how to start your own video production business. There are courses out there, how to really hone in your skills, let's say as an editor. So now you are a step ahead of rather just being in film school. Also, another pro is upside. So what do I mean by upside? Well, you have more upside as a business to grow. You can grow as big as you would like. If you are within the industry, you might not have the same upside. For example, you can be a TV executive, which is great. You can either be that or a director, but you're not necessarily owning your own business. If you are in the position of a video creator and you decide to start your own video production business, then the sky's the limit. So here's a quick story. Back in 2015, I graduated college, and literally after walking on the stage and getting my diploma, I applied for a video internship position for the Seattle Seahawks. And as I was heading back to California, I got the email that they wanted to interview me in their main office. And I was able to go through the interview and I felt great. But afterwards, I was kind of torn. Would I like to be a video intern for that organization? Well, yeah, I would be around the players. I would be, filming a bunch of things and filming football. It would be great. But in reality, in maybe 3 years, what would be my position? Maybe a videographer for them, not just an intern. I mean, okay. Or would I rather go the route of build my own video production business? Well, unfortunately, I didn't get the job, but fortunately, dang, I was able to start my own video production business right after. Now I've been able to grow it to where I would like to be and even higher now. So that's just one example. Okay, so let's go into the cons. What's one of the biggest cons? Well, now you are on your own for the most part. You have to network on your own. Network on your own. You have to go out there, you have to meet people. There's no classroom to where you're surrounded by other people necessarily. You don't have a professor that has an in within the industry. You have to put yourself out there, meet with other business owners, other people, other creators that you want to collaborate with to build your brand. So that's one. Another thing is now you need to be self-disciplined. And what that means is you have to structure your time. In college, your time is structured. If you are someone that needs structure to learn, maybe film school will be good for you. However, if you're someone that is self-disciplined, you're self-motivated, and you can structure your own time, then maybe not going to film school might be a better option. So those are one of the cons, but it can be a good thing if you're already this person. So those are some of the major things to think about. However, there's really no one right path, because in the end, it's all up to you, how far you want to go to find success. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on my latest videos. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.